hello, 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 hello. Hello. How are you? Hello, everybody. Right, so, echoey slightly in this room. Sorry about the light. Everywhere else is full up with people and doing things, etc. And sleeping and stuff. So, I'm having to be here. Oh, my nails. Hey, look good. Ha ha. Mrs. B is not going to be angry. Good, good, good. Right, so, here we go. Now, we all know by now, I am an Eldar player, so I've got some reinforcements as advised by one of the patrons. Hello, I think it's Brother Farkas, I think. So we have the Aeldari Warlocks to add to my others, but they look lovely. Morgan Ra, who will be much bigger than the other Morgan Ra. I'm looking forward to playing him. I'm looking forward to putting him together. I'm not looking forward to painting him. This one's going to be tough, but I hope to gain my skills and build them up over the next year. Obviously, 2 sets of new Guardians. Yes, yummy, yummy. I'm going to obviously make one for Storm, just for fun. And of course, some more Dark Reapers to add to all of my other Dark Reapers. But they are new, and they're lovely models, so why not? And as stated, thank you for the lambast, Brother Farkas, I think it is. Well, obviously, I bought the cards. Let's talk about cards just for a second. Now, because I think they introduced them in 6th, that they've got a situation whereas a lot of people will say, you've got too many cards coming out, it's every other year, and that's true. But I find with the boxes of cards, although I now have a plethora all hanging around the place and it's kind of annoying, the amount of time you save, it's a standard of life thing. One of my friends down the club refuses to buy any of them. And if I can be so bold, and now many people are very good at playing without the cards, and they can flip through their codex very, very quickly, find the information they need, and then get on with it. Unfortunately, my lovely friend doesn't do that, so playing with him can be a bit torturous. Not the playing with him as a person is lovely, he's a great guy, but the game element can be torturous because he's flicking through pages endlessly. Now when you have these cards, what I tend to do, my advice to all new players down the club is carry them around with you, take them to the toilet, when you're going for a poo or something else, just whop them out, have a look at them, and I found I know who has done that and who has not. Because I will advise them to take out the cards for your faction, your say sub-faction like Bartan, Same Harm, that kind of thing. Put them on the side, take out all of the cards for every unit you've got, put them on the side, and then only put in the cards that you're going to use. Yeah, so you get out, go through all of the units, take out the ones you're not using, put in the ones you do, and then you'll find you've got a much smaller deck, and that's more dealable with. More easily consumed. Now, obviously, you younger kids will be able to remember everything. I've got a very strange mind, as in I can still remember some of the Dungeons and Dragons monsters stats, and I've not played it in 20 years. But so be careful of mind clutter. But realistically, a lot of you younger guys will be able to remember every single stratagem. People like me, slightly older longhorns, won't be able to. So I find that anybody over a certain age, or anybody who's just playing it for fun, should get a deck of cards, even if you get one every 2 years, etc. See it as your subscription to your army, 15 quid, it used to be a tenner, much happier with the tenner obviously, but there we go. But I buy them, and that is a chunky mother. Yes it is, look at it, thick. Ooh. So realistically I get the feeling that, yeah, I know a lot of what is in here, but I've been trying to avoid the reveals. I know a lot of people will say, you shouldn't be doing that, you should know everything. I was, well, that's for Kyrgios and Valrak, they'll tell you everything that's going on. I'm not a news channel. So again, I always go back to the fact that I'm just a fan of this great game myself. I just do a bit of lore. Quick check to see if my hands are in the screen, and they are. Excellent. Right, so Eldar cards. Now, these are going to be so large because you'll have Eldar, you'll have all of the different craft worlds. And then I'm told that the Eldar Harlequins also rolled into this one. So there'll be lots of cards for the Harlequins as well. So this may even go into 2 little boxes for me, Harlequins and Eldar Craftworld. But we will see. Again, a little bit of organisation. You say, oh, it's a bit boring. Why am I doing paperwork and all this other organising? If you organise your cards, you organise your decks, you organise your armies and all such things, it means that you can just walk in and someone says, oh, do you want a game? You want to start in half an hour? You're like, yep, pick it up. You pick up one of your pre-arranged boxes and you pick up your pre-arranged deck and you just wander. So that's good. Otherwise, you're just spending the time each time creating a new army. Now, obviously, I'm a fanatic for creating new armies. There have been many periods when I really heavily playing, but all I do, well, before I was doing the channel anyway, is make up armies on Battlescribe, because I really enjoy it. I find it relaxing. But there you go, that's silly old Uncle Ballers. Many people will not. So there are so many different elements to this game. There's the painting, the modelling, the collecting, the creating dioramas if you want. Now obviously I don't, but that's models I can't use. But yeah, there's the army building, there's the competitive play, narrative play, open play. There's so many different ways of doing this, so don't curtail yourself just down to one. If you always play, say, competitive games, you find you can't find a game anymore, offer someone a lovely, lovely narrative game. You've got twice the amount of troops that I do, you attack, I've got to just survive, that kind of thing. There are lots of different missions that can be used, and alternately, just make your own. What I tend to do is, I did it with my Crimson Fists, I did it with many armies, Necrons as well, is I tend to get my army and invite a couple of my friends to bring armies of equal size, so they really just kind of pulverise them, and let them have a free round of firing before we are able to react, that kind of thing. I can then see how tough my units are. Now obviously they will concentrate on the ones which are most dangerous, which can be a bit vexing. It's a case of like, can you just fight everything equally? But even so, it's a good laugh. But every now and again, if you're beating snot out of everyone, just play a couple of relaxing narrative games and just say to them, look, I'm not here to play competitive today. I'm just here to have a bit of a laugh. Take an L, take a loss. Let your men generate more of a legend. The annoying thing a lot of people have is, oh, I've won 1,000 times, I never lost. That's cool, I suppose. It's cool, but everyone says that. So if you want a gripping tale, give your heroes, your army, your characters, give them some hardship, give them some defeats, and these kind of things can then lend to that most fulfilling of all things, the Rowengi killing spree. So if you let someone, say, defeat you in a narrative game, then you can play them another game another time and take some revenge for your army, and then that's a lot more fun. Again, not everyone likes that. A lot of people just like the statistic challenge of the game, like a game of chess. And that's fine, but I don't think you'd probably much be a fan of this channel if you just liked the numbers of it all, and if you like numbers, you'd probably play a different game, to be totally honest, chess. But there we go. So, cards. Alright, that was a long one. Now, finally, we're not going to gush over every single page and spend hours on it. A lot of other tactician people do that very, very nicely and very, very well. I'll watch them if I've got time. Well, put it on in the background while I'm painting. It doesn't happen very often at the moment, but I'm hoping for that to change. Okay, now, trying to open... Oh, where's my sharp? I don't have a sharp nail. Ah, damn it. I used to have a sharp nail I could stab things with. Oh, good. Right, I'm going to go and get a knife because I'm, inept. Bear with me. Large knife for stabbing action. Okay, cutting up of food action is actually it, but there you go. I wouldn't serve anyone under any circumstances. There we go. Yay, I can go away now. Alright, the new Eldar book. Now, the Eldar have had a strange history. Because, again, I missed a couple of editions, third and fourth. Came back on fifth, they were okay. Nothing special. They were good, but they weren't great. Sixth and seventh, they were really powerful, very powerful. Eighth, they were okay, weren't great. And then by the second half of eighth, after the psychic awakening, etc., everybody else got loads of this. You get this, you get this, you get this. So like you would get, say, the ability to make up your own, secondary powers, or your own ability to make up, what are they called? Your own craft world or sub-faction army type thing. Then you get other things. I know they got their runes of, not fate, fortune, but they weren't very good. And the rest of it didn't stack up very well. I know they also got their Exarch powers, but when you compared it to a lot of the other abilities that were coming out at the end of the Wraith, they didn't do great. Another thing that was very surprising for most players in the 6th and the 7th is the Wraith Knight. The Whopper. Oh, I see, I've got one. Not painted really well, I'm afraid. I'll have to get back to that. Like many of my projects, it kind of gets started then stops for a while. I'm very much a butterfly. Butterfly. The Emperor protects. Ooh. Anyway, which is something I do at my enemies all of the time down the club. The Emperor protects. They hate it when I do that. Now, well, not hate. I suppose after 15th time, saving an immortal rolls which should have vaporised something, it can get a bit galling, but I don't usually have that good luck. It's about average. Okay, now I'm going to open it over here to make sure it hasn't got a code thingy in it. I'll look at the code thingy in the back. Bear with me. I think it's the back. I don't use the code thingy. Oh, it is. Yes, it's in the back, not the front, so I can open it. Yay! Right, here we go. Again, sorry if I'm slightly scatty. I'm trying to do these things. Actually, it's by choice. I'm trying to do them when I'm just woken up, I'm drinking some coffee, etc., so I'm less guarded. Because I get the feeling from what a lot of people are saying is, what are you actually like? So I'm trying to be less guarded by being a little bit tired. So sorry if I'm not at top kind of Baltimore eating form, but this is what some people have told me they would like. Again, I don't see it myself, but let's do this. That's a bit hypocritical, actually. I'm very strange, as in, if some of my favourite creators talked about their car, and I have no interest in cars, I would probably watch it too. I'm just very squeamish about this kind of thing. You know what I mean. Right, stop rambly. Now, off we go. Right, the full 9th edition stuff. That's one eye for a thing. It's good. Oh, I don't recognise this art. No, I don't know all art. I don't. But I do know a lot, and I haven't seen this. This is lovely. And that's something that really brings me joy. New art. The investment into it. Eldari. Aeldari. There's always going to be an argument about that. I pronounce things in a certain way because of the rule of cool. I think they're quite cool, and obviously when it comes to Eldari, etc., I try to go as Noldor as possible on that, with some of the, pronunciations, etc., and that's not always necessarily correct. And no, I can't speak in Noldor at the moment. I'll have to look at that maybe next year. God, another waffle. Right, but again, this is unfortunately what some people say they like, so there we go. Right, waning and scattered they are, the sundered fragments of an empire that drowned in its own perversity and decadence. Yet woe betide those who think them weak. They are as shrewd as they are fickle, as disciplined as they are capricious. They read the schemes of fate as if they are letters on a page. They handle the blade as if they were born to do nothing else, which is true. They fight for their survival and see all other species as irrevocably inferior, or even as vermin. To underestimate them means death. Well, as you can see, this is why editing can take so long. Sometimes I get so much into the performance I don't read ahead and then bugger up the words. So yeah, on a good day I can do a flat scan read and do it calmly and not too bad. On a bad day, that editing's horrible. Also, listening to yourself all of the time, it's a really weird sensation, I've got to say. Right, now, sorry. Okay, I'm not even going to look at the contents. Oh no, looking at the contents. Now you see, I love this. I mean, I just love this so much. God, all the Patron warriors, they're all coming in the smoke here, the fact, the background. And it's just a picture composition as well, the way that they've done bleeding effects around the side just to bring them through. Harlequins over here. It just feels that even though these are just models on a page, they've put in more effort. They've put in more effort. They've made the dream easier. Suspension of disbelief is reduced. You don't have to try so hard not to say, oh, that's a nicely painted piece of plastic. No, these are warriors, female, male. Ooh, the 1,000 Suns, which is just incredible as well. To be honest, I'd have got a 1,000 Suns army if my mate Peter Tep hadn't got one. But he does everything Egyptology. So, and I can't afford any more. Well, more point, I can't afford the space or headspace for any more bloody armies. Now, let's look on. Once the stars lived and died at our command. We were masters of space, time, and every other dimension. Our dominance was undisputed, but that all changed. Our ancestors succumbed to the weakness that lies in every one of us, and in so doing, all but doomed our race. Now, as the darkness on fire of the Rana Dendra draws nigh, we must fight with greater ferocity, skill, and foresight than ever before. Upon our shoulders, our ancestors have placed a great burden indeed, but bear it we must, if we are to survive the tempest. Yeah, as you can see, I don't read out as soon as I've woken up, usually. For a very good reason. Also, the other strange... Ooh, it looks like a story. Now, I love this stuff. Now, the greatest shame is going to be that I won't be able to release many videos on the Eldar because no bugger watches them. And I've heard 4 other lore masters state the same. Don't know what it is with Eldar players. I do know what it is with Eldar players. I'm one of them. There is a certain effete snobbery with the Eldar players as main. And, you know, we know best. You can't tell us anything. Also, they tend to be more fanatical, as in they've read the Horus Heresy. They've read the way of the Eldar, blah, blah, blah. So they can't be taught anything. The amount of times Eldar players, I mean, have come to me and said, oh, I could teach you all about the Lord. Do you want me to help you? I'm like, you're an Eldar player, aren't you? They're like, yes. Okay, well, tell me about this sub-faction of humanity. Exactly. You know your elves very well. Well. You know, bugger all else. And that's, yes, Beanie, what's up, honey? I know, honey, Daddy's working, all right? Daddy's talking to the pictures. Sorry, my little sausage-ini, Selene Beanie. Yes, honey, I know. Look, go play with Mummy. Go talk to Mummy, okay? Daddy's talking to his friends. All right, so there we go. What was I saying? It doesn't matter. Again, anyone who reads on one subject, so like if you've read everything Alpha Legion, etc., you will beat me hands down in that one subject. You will. Full stop. Absolutely. You say, Voldemort, you don't know anything. And I'll say, no, you're right, I don't know everything. Whereas on a general knowledge of Warhammer, I don't do too bad. So there's a huge difference. Oh, this is nice. Look at it. Oh, that's new. New art. Beanie, seriously, you're in the light, hun. Dude. Can we not? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Right, I love you very much. Okay, now, go play with Mummy. No, come on, Mummy's asleep, I know. Oh, go on. Anyway, right. Craftworld technology, I look forward to reading that. And to looking for changes, really, and some of them are very dramatic, most of them aren't. But every now and again, you'll get one, even just paragraph, or even one sentence, which completely... Honey, you can't sit there. No, come on. You're in the light. No, come on, please stop that. Okay, I'm going to pick you up and put you somewhere else now. Okay, come on, Beanie. Yes, the name's Selene. Selene, the goddess of the moon. But she's Selene Beanie's sausage-ini. Anyway, there we go. Where were we? New art everywhere, yes. One line can change the entire setting to a certain extent. Like 40k Theories, Remblies, recently put up on, best way everyone talks a lot. Twitter. Which I try not to tweet too much, but obviously it's how I get some of my world news. Not a lot, I've got to admit. I usually try to go to established sites and then go to weirdy sites just to get a different opinion. One of those things. But anyway, on Twitter, yes, where was I? Yes, Rimbley's basically found out that Arzak Ahriman did actually make it to the Black Library, got inside and snicked something, which is Obviously something I missed. No, I thought he was beaten off. Oh, that could have been better phrased. And, yes, and didn't get in. So I am more than a little bit flummoxed myself. One line in one bloody book. I think it was... I can't even remember the one he said now. Anyway, more coffee. The Fall of the Aeldari, or the Aeldari. I like Eldari, but I know it's wrong. I am well aware it's wrong. Okay, but it sounds cool. Right, Eldari. Now, Craftworld. New art again. Look at this. They've actually put in some money into the elves. Makes a change. Well, again, I say that, but again, 6th and 7th, they were really strong, so it's a really strange famine of 3-4 years where they were a bit poopy. I still won with them. I still butchered many with the Beast of Bartan, the Butcher of Bartan. But there we go. Okay, but I didn't play much during 8th with Eldar. No, honey, please, no, you can't get in the light. Now, Craftworld War Hosts, Guardian Hosts. Yummy. Obviously existing art there. That's new. Ooh, look, they actually paid an artist. Now all we need is 10 more artists doing the same for every single codex. The Asuyani Path, the Exarchs, the Phoenix Lords. Bit brief. I understand the need for economy, and I do get slightly annoyed about that, but we'll get to that later, I guess. Path of the Outcast, Path of the Warrior, Path of the Seer. Yummy. We did have 2 videos there. We did the Warlock video, and it sucked so badly hits-wise, I didn't release the Farseer yet, which I will do, but poor STC really put his heart and soul into that performance, and he doesn't do it very often, and he's very, very shy, and he's such a nice guy, and I thought he was as clear as me. I think people are just used to hearing my voice and not other people's voices, and they get a bit perplexed sometimes. And yes, I understand, I have a X-quality voice or whatever, but again, I find that difficult to compromise because all I'm doing is talking, trying my best and all the rest of it. It's just a phone voice to me. Everyone thinks, you must have been to RADA and other such places where people learn acty things. I haven't. It's pure just bald action. I'm giving it a go. I think most actors or voice actors will probably go, oh, that wasn't very good. But again, I don't have any basis of comparison. I try to hear other people's books, and sometimes an accent pisses me off or anything else. I'm just like anybody else. I can be as grumpy and old fart as any grumpy old fart. I tend not to be, though. Mrs. B does control me in that regard and pulls me out of nose spins, tail dives, whatever you want to call it, into depression. She's a good girl, she really is. My light and my life. Now, Ulthway the Damned. That's a meaty write-up about Ulthway. Do love Ulthway. Wouldn't paint them, wouldn't play them because there's too much black involved. Seeing as I play other Blood Angels, lots of black in there. Try not to do it. I think that's new. I'm not sure. I think it is. I've never seen it. Well, there we go. Ooh, the Doomfeldnesh, that's nice. Elect Night Spur. Alatok the Star Striders. Not my personal favourite, I have to admit. Smacks a bit too much of hiding and running around with knees bent formations. I don't know. I like to get in close and cut people's faces off. Less racist. There we go. Here we go. Bartan. Is this new? It looks new. I've never seen that. It looks epic. Look at it. Who's so tall and eyes? That's a bit, that sort of it. It's more like a cookery in size, and it does a two-handed sword. What are you doing? That's not a bastard sword. Why on earth's the hilt so long? It's about, I don't know, look at this nice figure. Oh, wait. Oh, well. Ooh, that was a reborn. Let's read that bit just. For Viltan, winter has fallen, but the people of this craft world remain stubbornly convinced that spring will return, if we find hard enough. Its world rune stands for reincarnation, and its name mostly translates as rebirth of ancient days, with the shattering of Viltan helping to give rise to the Inari, also known as the Reborn. Many Eldari now wonder if perhaps the craft world's fracture and Yniad's potential awakening represent the true meaning of the rune all along. Well, that was done badly. Sorry about that, everyone. the sword wind, the fractured. The fractured? Our ships may be fractured, our will is one. Piss off. Bad name. Don't like it. Oh, they've all got them now. Ooh, Eandon. I did plan a big, huge Eandon video. Hoping to do it one day, but it will be 100 hours of work for bugger all hits again. And again, should I do it for the hits? No. But when you're paying your bills on it, you kind of think, yes, but it's also about morale. If you do, so like a 10-minute piece, you know, it takes you half a day, no big deal, okay, fair enough. If it's good, that's good, that's great. But, you know, it's not much work. But if you're putting in 2 weeks of work, you know, outside of other videos, always working till like 9, 10 at night on something, thinking, oh, this is great. It's a bit like, it feels like you spent all of the money in the world to get all of the top actors together and no one watches it. And that's just, a player wants people to watch. It's not a case of egotism, it's a case of someone, when you're doing something for other people's enjoyment, you want them to enjoy it. If it's one person, that's great. If it's a million people, that's even more wonderful. But either way, it's a very strange reaction and interaction. So doing things which don't get you hits is kind of demoralising. It's one of those strange things which works with how YouTube works. And the way all the information is presented to you, so you're always like, do work harder, work harder, work harder, work harder, work harder. It's one of the most nasty training wheels in the entire that I've ever seen, YouTube. Every piece of information they present to you is basically work harder, bitch. And it's like, it can be depressing. Same harm, the sword wind, I love them. Orkies, new Eldar, pictures again. So much new art. Maybe they've been listening, well, not to me. That would be silly. Who watches me? Well, you guys do, but they don't. I'm quite sure they don't. So it must have been a general overground swell from us, the fans. Aha. Yes. Well, that's good. Ah, yeah, and all the little ones. Ha! Most of them could crush an entire chapter easily. Many chapters, but there you go. Altanazar, Ibrasil, Luganath, Ilkeith, Yemelok, my Mira. Oh, there we go. Right. I love this new art. I love it. It's so good. Saw that first on Twitter again. It's the only reason I'm on Twitter, to be totally honest. People will contact me through it. I mean, everybody loves it. I don't. Again, there's no political statement about it or anything else like that. It's just that even I find I'm a whiny little bitch when I'm on there. I'm like, I'm not whiny anywhere else. Why am I whiny on this one? Oh, well. Dire Avengers. Warp Spiders. Spid. Okay, I love Dire Avengers. Warp Spiders I've never really got on with. Even in 5th edition, I didn't really see much point in them. I do like the fact that they move around their bounds. When they get shot at, they can retreat, blah, 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 blah. It's all very good. Just when I used them, I never got much out of them. Shining Spears, my favourite. Yes, they're incredibly dangerous, but they're knights riding into combat. Obviously, I've been to tourneys here in England, so the knights thing is really cool to me, because I've seen them do it as well as just read it in books or seen it on TV. That's always good fun. Obviously, they do it a lot less now because people get injured. Of course they will. It's a horrible, horrible sport. You're charging underneath the dysteria towards someone and trying to ram an overgrown toothpick through their shoulder. The Chrome Goddess. I've not mentioned her too much before. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Striking Scorpions. Always fun. I don't have Striking Scorpions. Don't ask me. Don't know. Whenever I didn't have money, I wanted them. Whenever I had money, I forgot about them. Morgan Rada House, Star Wars, Dark Reapers. I do find it, that's very short. Again, being concise is good. But, well, we'll get to that later. Right, Fire Dragons. Ooh, Fugan, the Burning Lands. Swooping Hawks, hello Beanie. Look, Beanie, please. No, oh dear. Look, Beanie, look, you've got to stop this, honey. You've got to go away now, just for a bit. I know you like to be annoying, but we've got to stop this now. Okay, come on. Where were we? Is this even close to where it was? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to short a beanie. Okay. I think. Oh, God. I'm trying to cut this. Will I actually even bother? Oh, God. For God's sake, stop it. Oh, bloody beanie. Right. Oh, just. Oh. Why won't you just go where you were before, you bastard?
Man, I want to turn in this direction.
Stop it! Stop turning! Bugger! Oh. Angry! Angry ball. Baldy, angry. Now it's just twisting around all of the time. That's so annoying. Ha, there we go. Right. Back to normal. You are not coming back up, Baldy Beanie. Right. Okay, fire dragons. Swell-paying hawks. Hawks are something that are okay. I use some of them. Usually I proxy with scourges because they just look better. We'll see what happens with the new ones if they do any. I hope they do. Crimson Hunters, lovely planes, very much like them. Hope they stay the same-ish. The bloody blades of Cain. Hosts of the dead. We haven't done hosts, we haven't done wraiths. We will. Again, I was planning on a big one. Every time I go to write it, though, I think, I was going to watch it. That's just demoralising, so we will have to get into that someday when maybe I'm bigger and can take a hit on that. Harlequins, inside the book. Okay, I knew this was going to happen. It's still slightly shocking. Do you need a full book? Probably not. The Harlequins book for 8th was rather thin, if I'm honest. And thin in multiple ways, we'll put it that way. But it was a great option, it was a great situation. I really love the fact they brought the Harlequins back. I've got some of the original ones, I dig them out, but I haven't got time, because I've got to go out and do creation-y things. Right, Solitaires, Death Jesters, Shadow Seers. I'll bring it down to that much, isn't too bad, I guess. Okay, Harlequin Masks. Yeah, I'm glad I've got the Harlequins book then, because this isn't very much at all. Right, here we go. But of course I would say that. I'm a law munchkin. Yvraine, daughter of Shades, emissary of Inyad. Oh, the Vizark, and I'll always have a special place for these in my heart, because one week when I did all of the Ynnari characters and a load of other things on the build-up to the Ynnari release, or was it Blood of the Phoenix or something. So, yeah, one of those things. And one of my friends said, you've got to slow down, what are you doing, going to burn out? And I'm like, yeah, only short videos. But either way, back then, feels like years ago, well, it is years ago now. It's only a couple of years ago, but it feels like 10 to me. Corsairs. Now, I'm going to have to read up on the Corsairs, see what they say now, because originally I had a certain take on the Corsairs, which not many people really thought about, I think. So, but either way, I'll do Corsairs in the future, again, when I can. It's so annoying, because you've got to remember what we call, when me and Mrs. B are talking about these things, you've also got the not Imperial tax. Chaos doesn't often have it, but most factions, it's a not Imperial tax. So if you replace something Imperial, it's going to have like 50% more hits than anything Xenos. And I find that depressing, because it means it forces everyone towards Imperial content all the time. Which means the new players think, look around at what's going on YouTube and other such things. You know, not many. Because obviously most people go with the models or something else like that, and YouTube the world isn't YouTube, it isn't. But it does have a certain pull for younger players, obviously people who go there for answering questions first. Newbies, like my channel aims at. But you'll find that I fear that because everyone's doing Imperial content all of the time, we'll eventually see a lot of these other things fall apart, because new players will see Imperial, and they're all the popular units, armies, and videos. So why would you pick one which is completely rare, gets very little attention, etc., etc.? I feel they really should be making things a bit more even, but there we go. We know there are a myriad reasons for why they do what they do. And those are just the reasons we can Guess that. The Eldritch Raiders, the Steel Eye Reavers, never heard of them. The Sun Blitz Brotherhood, now I've heard of them. The Void Dragons, ooh, yummy. Okay. Oh, that was the lore. 58 pages. How many pages are there? 199. A quarter of the book is lore. Look at the size of it. Look at the size of it. Look at the size of that. Oh, it looks lovely. I can't wait for them to bring that. That's one thing I didn't like. Yeah, we'll release half the video. You know, the figures now. No, another half an hour later, we'll release another one. And, oh, sod off. Just make them all available. Get off with it. But we want you to come into the shop more often. Oh, who actually goes into the shop these days? I mean, I do. But I should do. I'm supporting this stuff. This is, you know, my channel. Realistically, this channel anyway. So I should. Most other people, you should be getting them other places. If you can get a 20% discount on exactly the same product, why wouldn't you? That's insane. Oh, that reminds me, I've really got to get one of those affiliate linky things. Anyway, I'll try and get an affiliate link and put that somewhere. Okay, Beanie, really? I know what's going on now. Beanie gets jealous if Mummy's talking on the phone to someone or Daddy's talking to something but not someone. Strangely enough, if there are two humans there, she doesn't mind. But if I'm talking on the phone as well, or to a thing, like you, then she can get very jealous. And I don't know why she does this. No, Beanie, I'm not allowed on the table at present. So, the dynamics of having a cat. They know when you're busy. And they will interrupt you. Okay, excellently painted figures as always. Look at the lovely new... Oh, look at them. Shining spears, and they look so shiny. Oh, I can't wait for them to come out. Yeah, it's... No. Just stop it, honey. Okay, Wraith Knights. Wonderful things that they are. Really impressive models. Pity about their stats in 8th and 9th, but I guess we'll have a look at these things now. Samhar's Shroud Runner. Would you believe why I've been so tired after COVID? I have not even looked up the stats to this new figure, even though I've done a box opening and everything. It's ridiculous. I've got to get my act together. And look at this. It's just beautiful. Now, I don't do my bar 10 with all the green like that. I do them with white and green because I'm weird like that, but there we go. Beanie, no. Beanie, no. Beanie, no. Now, that is a chunky avatar of Cain. I can only hope that his stats are up to the name, which will be difficult. I do like the alternate face. I presume... I'm not going to open my mouth, I don't know. Shoes of the Harlequins. Yes, I guess we've got... a lot of brochure element, as I call it. Look at the wonderful things you could buy. And you should have brochure element in these books, I believe. Quack. Okay, panoply of piracy. They are beautifully constructed. I believe these are going to be in a Kill Team box set. And I will not succumb to fear of missing out. I will place it with fear of missing out. No, fear of waiting a bit. FOAB. Fear of waiting a bit. Doesn't sound quite so dramatic, does it? And it shouldn't do, because it's not dramatic. Who are these? I've never seen these. Have I? I don't think I've seen these. Are new. Ooh. Right. Okay. Or are they? I don't know. I'll ask SDC. He plays Sisters of Battle. I can't believe I got him into Warhammer. Finally! I've only been working 20 years on it. Well, about 15 years on this way. Okay, look at this. Put together so nicely. It's just beautiful. Oh, look at all this. It's just, yes. There we go. Now, rules. More rules. Craftworld rules, Samhar rules, Yandan rules, far-flung craft worlds, make up your own craft world. I love that. I should do that, and, you know, maybe I will. Inari, okay. Example army. You know it's complicated. Well, they've got an example army in there for you. Asuyani Battle and Harlequin Patrol Detachment. Okay, mate. If it's that bad, why make it? But there we go. Okay, we'll just see. Okay, oh, what's this? Ah, the Sedesse, Light Dark Twilight. Okay, I'm sure they'll... Oh, Beanie, no. Just go and play with mummy. Now, right, stratagems, more stratagems, Exarch powers. All good. I do like all of this stuff, don't get me wrong, but I do find that this edition is very tournament and competitive playing heavy. You wouldn't bother with half of this stuff in a standard game. Previously, I understand there's loads and loads of levels and nuances, so the game or tournament organizer or Games Workshop can tweak one tiny element out of 12 and completely change which models are now optimal, which then have to be bought. Let's be absolutely honest, if you're a tournament player, you must know. Everybody else who doesn't know, wants to consider being a tournament player, you will get sledged, you will get the mickey taken out of you by Games Workshop all of the time. You've got a perfect army, that'll only last 3 weeks. Then after that, within 3, 4, 5 weeks, they'll change the stats on X, Y, or Z to make it all different, okay? They're doing that so competitive players have to buy new armies all of the time to keep up. They can't help themselves. But they should. They should work with us, not against us, but they can't. They cannot help themselves. They've got money men in charge, and unfortunately those money men are saying X, Y, and Z, and not realising that they're missing out on the greater amount of money, which is making it easy, making it open access. And I don't mean without nuance when I say easy, but 8th was perfect for me. Because it had nuance, but it had the stratagems, it had all the rules and all the rest of it, but it wasn't quite so heavy on the rules. So the adding on of X and this and this and this and this, for me, is just a bit too much of a retrograde movement into competitive play, and they see that competitive play gets them a lot of money, but they don't realise if more people just enjoy playing at all, they'd get a crap load more money. But there we go. Relics, lovely. Nice bit of art. Right in the middle, like, oh, I don't like it when they do that because you can't see it properly. But not to worry, I'm quite sure I can find an image online or something. Right, here we go. Oh, at least I knew that. Well done, GW. Cigarette throwers. The story is sword. Okay, so these are relics of Asuyani, Harlequini. More Harlequini. Right, warlord traits. Psychic disciplines. I don't really understand their format either, because I obviously I've got about 7 codices already for just for armies I play or was deeply interested in. I got all. I think I got all of 8th. I haven't got all of 9th because I opened up the first couple of books like Space Wolves, Necrons, etc. And there's so little fluff there that, and yeah, I'm like, oh, well. So I haven't been buying all of 9th. One of those things. Where was I going with that? I have no idea. But yes, oh yeah. I don't really understand how they arrange their things, because I found, all right, I'm playing a standard game. I flick here, and 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 I flick here. What? So, yeah, there again, that could just be my age, could just be being fatigued. A bit of burnout. You know, as we all know, I am a little bit burned out at the moment. I'm hoping that will change. I may have to take a week off at this stage. Not yet, but very soon. Right, avatars have to go. Avatar Arcane, Avatar, the Incarn. Avatar Arcane and the Incarn can never gain experience points. Okay, of course they can't. Crusade rules. Still not even played a game of Crusade, I've got to admit, because of the event has made playing very difficult, so people get into the club and play when they can. We don't know if in a couple of weeks' time we'll be closed down or not. So in the middle of my codex, it's broken. Okay, moving on. Yes, in the middle of a new codex, one of the pages is buggered. Is it badly buggered? No. Is it not optimal and pristine? No, it's not. I've never had that. I have never had that. So we're going to say this is an anomaly. I have many codices. I've never seen this before. So we're going to ignore that and put that down to human error or some kind of machine not eating correctly. I've never seen it before. Not great, not great. Not to worry, not to worry, not to worry. Not to worry. You can either dwell on these things and eat yourself alive, or you can just say, ha, and move on. Okay. Right, grand performances. The rehearsal phase. This looks exciting. I'll have to have a look at that. Oh, it's all under the Crusade rules. I really need to get into Crusade. I think I'll try and run a Crusade campaign if I can ever get quick enough videos to do more. Craftworld all sway. Very exciting. Black and yellow. Harlequins. Delicious, but devastatingly painful to paint. That's the only dead sheets. Oh my, no, I'm gonna take this back. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable now. Again, let's not blame Games Workshop. Let's not blame the printers. This happened. It did happen, and yeah. Okay, now we're finally getting onto the stats of things. Okay. And again, I don't want to look through every single page like this because otherwise Games Workshop get me. So we're going to flick through a couple of them. This looks very nice. Storm Guardians, Guardian Defenders, Corsair Void Scarred. Okay. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. More character. Yeah, stats on everything. I'm going to enjoy reading through all of these. Shining Spears. 2 to 5. Oh, so you can have unit 6. You can increase them. That's good. Shroud Runners. Yummy. Right, off we go. Warwalkers, Dark Reapers, support vehicles. Yeah, Falcon, Night Spinner. Wave 7, Fire Prism, Crimson Hunter, Helmlock War, Race, Webway Gate, Troop Master, Shadow Seer, Troop, Death Jester, Solitaire. I thought they should have just, do like 3 or 4 more units for Harlequins. Round them out a little bit, that's all, but obviously they've just dumped them in here instead of rounding them out. Missed opportunity in my mind, but I would say that I'm an Eldar player. Maybe they are looking at it the same way I am. There's no point in making it if they don't buy it. One of those things. Viewing the profiles, which are all changed, going into the 9th edition horror of how much damage is dished out, because of course they want faster games. So you've got more points for some units, making smaller armies, smaller boards, much more devastating weapons, making it, hopefully, their aim was to make it a faster game. So there we go. That's Uyani and Anlesi point values, which will all change on a regular basis, which is why I go by Battle Scribe. Then I don't have to go through my codex and alter all the points on a regular basis. Who's got time for that? I don't. Some people do, I'm sure, but I'm not one of them. Right, Asuyani and Glossary. Ooh, very nice. I do like the glossaries and all such things. That does help. Okay, Harlequin references. There we go. There's my, which I can't show you. Okay, so all right, that's a couple of torn pages. Never seen it before. There we go. Is this a good game book for the fighting element of it, the playing element? I'm sure it is. Is it a bit disappointing for me, as with all of 9th edition? Yeah, it is, because, I mean, realistically, for me, the models are wonderful, the game is okay. The story, the history, the background, the setting is what really gets my motor running. So seeing so little information on the units, let's go to those units. Oh, we'd have to open on a broken page, wouldn't it? See, that is all you get for the write-up to these units. And you can say, You shouldn't be beating them out anyway. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Nobody has to watch anything. You know, I'm just doing what I do. If people like it, they turn it on. If they don't, they don't. But that for me is a little bit disappointing because, as I said before, I don't know if they're moving away from law, so they can't have people going, you get the law wrong, which is annoying for anyone. I get it all the time. You've done this wrong. I'm like, well, okay, maybe. And then I look it up and go, no, actually, you're wrong. And then I get annoyed with it. It's a case of like, if you're going to tell someone else that they are wrong, check your details first. I used to be incredibly paranoid about that until I researched so many different things and found out that no, this person's just a wombat. No, this person's just being nice. This person seems to just be trying to get me to waste time, so I'm just not doing it again. So if someone tells me I'm wrong, I might have a look at it. I might have a think about it. And if they bring a polite, well-constructed, Baltimore, have you considered this? Have you read this bit? This actually makes this slightly different. Then I engage, I enjoy, I read it, I thank that person. But you're wrong! Gets an instant, piss off from me. Because if you can't back it up, then all you've done is basically screamed into the void. And this void doesn't scream back. I can't be bothered anymore. Again, it's not that I don't care about what people think. It's just I don't care what people think of me. They can enjoy what they do, the videos, or not. Really up to them. As I say, no one's forced to watch them. So there we go. And I do try to be correct whenever I can, which is why I do some quoting, which is probably going to have to try and stop soon. Again, at the moment, I'm exhausted because of COVID and other such things and personal life. So there might be some biscuity entries in the next couple of weeks while I try and get a bit of a break. But there again, I've been saying that for about 3 months now. We're in March, so one of those things. Okay, right. Yeah, so that's all we get for the new Shroud Runners. Some people have said, they're doing it just so you can't do a video. I couldn't disagree with you more. None of their decisions are ever based around anything I have or ever will say. I am utterly insignificant in the grand scheme of things. I just tell bedtime stories, So it's always funny when people try and put you on a pedestal. You're like, you what? But there again, not being derisive of the person, just the concept that anyone would listen to me in a position of authority. I mean, one of those things. Anyway, so do I love? Okay, let's have a look at the book. Overall, new art. Yes, just yes. Bringing the Harlequins in so you don't have to buy another book. Okay, I see the benefit of that. Obviously, that's going to benefit my wallet and probably many other people's, and that's a good thing, I think. Could there be more fluff and less rules? I think so, because one of the major things that have always been told to me about from anyone who's a role player, a computer gamer, an artist, or anybody else is, okay, mate, how difficult are the rules? And at points I said, they're not too difficult, it's all right, you can get into them, they're nuanced, but they're okay. Now I would have to say, I don't know, mate. Because a lot of this is not complicated. It's just time consuming. Yeah? No individual element is complicated. So they think that it's not complicated overall. But it is because of the amount of elements in it. So I'm not keen on ninth. But there we go. Am I attacking them? No. Is it their decision? Yes. Can I play pretty much ninth any way I want? I do. On a regular basis, I'll go down to the club and I'll look into the eyes of the other player, or they'll look into mine and say, do you want to do missions? And I'll go, no, let's just kill each other. And we do that, and that's just a good laugh. But obviously, that's no good for a tournament, etc. I'm just trying to say that all of these books are basically screaming one thing. Tournament players are the most important, and we should listen to them and cater to them. And as I've said a million times, they're about a tiny fraction of the amount of actual players out there. Although many players will go to a tournament, okay, the vast majority of games are non-tournament. Vast, overwhelmingly vast number of games. If 100 games are played in around the world in one hour, one of them maybe will be a tournament game. Maybe. So the emphasis on tournaments is exactly as I feared, because when they did that interview to see who was joining for 9th edition, there was a very quiet, unassuming, kind of looked a bit ticked off at the time actually, guy, and was like, yeah, I'd run tournaments and I'm involved. And I thought, oh God, no. And yes, I was right. They have done this. All these lovely rules for everything, but there you go. It is what it is, but let's look at the positives. New art, wonderful. New figures, at long bloody last. It's been decades in some regards, and many years since we've had a good Eldar release. Matching that with the Necron release and other such things, I really feel that Games Workshop are knocking it out of the park in certain elements. Do they get everything right? No. But they are trying. They are definitely trying. This book is a monument to effort. They may not get it right for you. They may get it perfectly for someone else. But either way, they're trying. They're really trying, I feel, with this book and some of the other books in 9th to up their game and please as many people as possible. You can never please all of the people all of the time, but I get the feeling they're trying to please as many of the people as possible. And this book, again, haven't read all of the rules, going to look at all of them, etc. This book seems to be a nice compromise and shows a lot of effort. And that's all I ask. Because if someone puts in effort, they can improve. If someone is really great but doesn't put in effort, they won't go anywhere. Doesn't matter if they're right or wrong right now, even though many people say they should be, I agree they should be. But either way, a tournament player would say the exact opposite to me about this book. Oh, it's too much bloody lore, there's too many different options, there's too many units, but the rules are great, you see what I mean? So you can never please everyone, but I get the feeling this is an attempt to please as many people as possible. And while they're doing that, while they're trying to please the fans, they get the Voldemort thumb of approval. Bouncing thumb of approval. Well done, 2 of them even. Okay, everyone, well, sorry for the waffle. Well, or not, as people have requested this kind of thing. We will do some box openings for next week, because as always, I deny myself the ability to open things until I have been what I consider a good dog, and I have not been a good enough dog recently. Fatigue and other such things, true, but I like to give myself treats for ways, you know, for achievements. So hopefully, by next week, I will have done enough things to open one at least or 2 of these. And obviously, we'll have a quick chat and a catch-up. And out of interest, something quite large and something quite different for me is coming out at the end of the week, I believe. It's been forestalled a couple of times, but we don't need to talk about it too much. But something very different. So I will advertise it later on in the week. When they told me I can. So if you can turn up and give a bit of support, that would be great. But it'll be something very, very different, we'll put it that way. And I'm very much hoping you enjoy it. And that's why some of my other videos recently have not been as dynamic as, say, Fulgrim, etc. Because obviously, coming from COVID, got a cold, lots going on, very little sleep. Because of all the tension that's going on in the world, which obviously I'm not going to talk about. But also because I've been working on this other thing and it's taken up loads of time. So after that, we will then be able to go back to Abundance Tertius, get some other things done, and Cronan, etc. So just stick with me if you can, guys. Doing my best, trying to do better, as always. Again, thumbie upness. Okay, thank you very much for all of your time, as always. And no matter what you do today, always try to make some time for fun. Doodaloo.